Hi, Taurus. This is Tisch Aitken, and I'm here to do your monthly horoscope. Happy birthday. It is Taurus season, and I know it's a tough time to be celebrating your birthday, but I hope that you're safe and healthy and finding ways to honor yourself during this time. And so this is going to be a big month for us because many planets are retrograding. And so let me enumerate all that's happening. So to begin with, we had Pluto station retrograde on April 25th, and it's stationed retrograde at 24 degrees of Capricorn. Now, in the beginning of the year, Saturn, which is the planet of karma and responsibility and structure, met up with Pluto, which is the planet of death and rebirth, at 22 degrees of Capricorn, and that's the world axis. And they met up in your ninth house of higher education, belief systems, and faith, what you believe in. And so you may be restructuring on some level what you do believe in. Perhaps you're getting interested in learning new types of things, new subjects of study. Maybe you're getting interested in new philosophies. I don't know, but that's where those planets have been transiting for you. Now, Saturn briefly entered your house of career on March 21st, and Saturn is about to station retrograde on May 11th, 2 days before Venus retrograde. So you started a career cycle in March. Saturn stations retrograde at 1 degree, so it's only at the second degree of Aquarius. And then it's going to re-enter Capricorn on July 2nd. So it's going to re-enter your ninth house of belief systems and higher learning, etc. It's going to be there from July 2nd until December 17th. And then it will re-enter your house of career. You'll be having a major career cycle for the next few years after. But with all of that said, right now, you might feel very overwhelmed because Saturn is right on that angle of career. So sometimes when that happens, people either take on more work than they think they can handle. They may feel they're over their head. Sometimes people do lose jobs during that time, or it's that they are, they just feel very overwhelmed. But generally, it's a very good career cycle because Saturn rules the house of career. So what I think with this is that you're getting a brief glimpse of this transit because Saturn will re-enter your house of career in December, and it'll be there for the next 2 years. So since Saturn's retrograding, the ruler of your sign is retrograding, Venus. Jupiter retrogrades on May 14th, and Jupiter is how we expand and magnify and magnetize things. Jupiter is retrograding in your ninth house of belief systems as well. That's the Sagittarius house. So also dealing with manifesting. If you're dealing with all of the restrictions of this whole Capricorn year that we've all been in, that's very much about restructuring and limitations and challenges, to say the least, then tapping into Jupiter in your ninth house of how you can manifest and visualize and bring in new opportunities and at least try to come from a place of hope, in all of this. So Jupiter's retrograding on May 14th, and that's in your house of belief systems. We've got the super moon in Taurus, Scorpio, happens on May 7th. That's falling in your seventh house of relationships, and that's going to fall at 17 degrees of Scorpio. Now, look back to what was happening in the summer of 2014. If you can recall, at that time, Saturn, which again is challenges and restrictions, was at that time transiting in the house sign, rather, of Scorpio, your opposite sign, and it was occupying your house of relationships. At that time, either, Saturn is about commitment. People commit further when things are in alignment with where they're meant to be, or if it's not for their further growth, often things end or they get challenged in that area. So a lot of Tauruses were going through relationship issues and breakups and certain things of that time. So some of those things, there might be flashbacks of that with this full moon. But you can also think of it as releasing. It's not an easy full moon because the moon is exalted in your sign, Taurus. It's in its fall position in the opposite sign of Scorpio. So it's not a happy full moon, and it's opposing Mercury in Taurus. Mercury's in your sign, and information might get uncovered. You might find something out about somebody that was perhaps kept secret. That's another possibility. And Mercury in Taurus is squaring Mars in Aquarius. And that's also, Mars is in your house of career right now. And so that also, there can be stuff with co-workers or in the work environment. There might be a little bit of, maybe again, information gets uncovered, or there's a little bit of battle going on. But just, try to weather it out. Think of what you want to release with this full moon. And then as we get further into the month, let's see. So we've got all those planets retrograding. And I think for a lot of us, we're really going to be returning to things that many of us have been on hold for a long time, and so really reassessing what you love and what you value. I mean, you're such a creative sign. You're ruled by Venus, and even though it's out of bounds, that really emphasizes the energy. And in Gemini, it gives choices and options, and for you, maybe new options to use that creativity to find new value in things and new ways to earn income. And the last thing I think in this too is that, that the new moon in Gemini happens on May 22nd. It's going to be at 2 degrees of Gemini, and that's also falling in your house of income and how you earn money. So setting intentions, because it's ruled by Mercury, that new moon, you want to write down your intentions, do affirmations. That new moon is a tricky one too, because Mercury is going to be conjunct Venus in Gemini. Venus is retrograde. It's out of bounds, so it's not playing by the rules. And they're both squaring Neptune, the planet of dreams, but also deception. Very creative energy. So excellent for manifesting. But there could be some interesting things with relationships going down that time frame as well. But I think that this is your month. I think this is a really good time to reassess how you can work with the year going forward. And I wish you a very happy birthday in this difficult time. And thanks a lot. You're my second monthly horoscope. Take care.